And welcome back to the weekly market recap where we go over this week's market while keeping it as simple as possible. Now, last week I let you guys know about a very important battle that happened this week, the battle of 6,000 on the S&P 500. And we're going to recap that and talk about the major events in the world that happened right when that battle of 6,000 did go down. So let's actually go straight into it. If you look at the S&P 500 here, you'll see this week that we went up and did tag and then we went back down. So let's actually go over the major events that happened this week. First things first, the biggest event for this week was the agreement for a trade deal between China and the United States. So China and the United States have been talking for the last couple months to find some type of trade deal, and it looks like they did come with some type of agreement. If you look at the headline above, this is only in certain areas, and specifically it's in this material called rare earth that China and the United States are willing to make trades on. This is not a broad trade agreement between those two countries. So after we had that huge trade deal news at the beginning of the week, the next 2 days we received great data, and that data was the inflation data. First, we received the CPI, and again, CPI is the inflation gauge for consumers, people like me and you at stores. And if you look above, you'll see that the core year over year CPI did go down. So that was a very good sign that inflation is coming down a little bit. And then the next day we received PPI, and if you look above, you'll see that PPI did go down barely, but it was lower than expectations. So again, inflation's going down, and then we receive a deal between China and the United States. So those huge positives push the S&P 500 above the battle of 6,000 to 6,050, and then that's when the battle heated up. If you look at the S&P 500 right here, you'll see that we actually closed underneath the battle of 6,000 at about 6,075. Now the question is, why did the market reject that huge boost above the battle of 6,000? And that's when things get interesting, because I let you guys know, if we get above the battle of 6,000, most likely we're going to hit all-time highs, and if we're underneath that battle of 6,000, it's a chance that we could have a nice dip in the market. So magically, during this battle of 6,000, we received news that Israel did attack Iran, and that was a huge event throughout the world, and it looks like that event might be starting a next war in the Middle East. And when there's a war in the Middle East, that affects all stock markets, and stock markets did go down. And again, the US stock market did close the week underneath that 6,000 level. But again, that was at the close on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since then, the battle between Israel and Iran only has been intensified and intensified in a major way. If you look at this headline, you'll see that Iran actually did attack Israel back. And this weekend is ramping up higher and higher. And I want to show you guys this clip to see how serious this battle actually is and the devastation, destruction that is occurring. Now going into this coming week, it looks like this battle is only going to heat up even more. If you look at this headline, China is saying that Israel crossed a line that they should not have crossed, and they are backing Iran in this war. And after looking at this message from Donald Trump, it's looking that the United States might have to get in between this war as well, and that is not a good sign for the stock market. Now the one thing that has been going up, and it has been going up for the last year, is gold. If you look at this chart above, you'll see that a year ago right now, gold is almost up 100%, as well as oil. Oil is going up tremendously because usually when there's battle in the Middle East, oil prices goes up. So again, this coming week, when the stock market opens up Monday, we'll see if we have a major sell-off or not. But again, it's a lot of things that's going on this week. And honestly, I want you guys to share this video with some of your friends who you think this will benefit, because honestly, knowledge is power. And I want you guys to be able to watch this and make the financial decisions to help your situation the best. Again, this is the weekly market recap. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.